Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is your mid-September reading. Of course, the energy is fluid and may permeate a little before the 15th, a little after the 30th, 31st. Let's get right into it, Leo. Now, I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, and there was this sort of feeling of like a luxuriousness, a luxuriousness to you, and that of presiding comfort. Okay, I'm hearing sound, and homeliness. Okay, so I'm hearing attraction is where comfort is met. So there's something to do about feeling very much at home, but by way of how we participate in our home, in ourselves, in our home. So what I'm getting for you, Leo, is there's this a focus on the emotions. Absolutely. Okay, and this may be in a personal way, right? You and yourself, and kind of an openness, okay, of an emotional and hearing receptivity. Okay, so kind of like hearing yourself out emotionally for a number of you, perhaps coming to terms with emotions, okay, in a certain way. But I'm also getting that it may be, I'm hearing reciprocal, having to do with home life being, right, not only the home that you call your own, how you find yourself in your home, how you feel at home, but how, right, I'm hearing multiple parties engage in that with each other in that same sort of home, and what home means, in what it, I'm hearing in what it allows both of you to receive through and by it. So, but there's a feeling of holistic. Okay, so to speak, and it's something coming full circle. It has to do with emotions, and perhaps two parties specifically. I'm getting that. You have the Ten of Cups, right, coming through for you. I'm hearing out specifically both sides, both realms, both parties. Something to do with two halves, okay, but to the same whole in a very it's like a reciprocal. So be it you and you participating in a certain environment, a home situation with two individuals specifically, okay? But, and I'm hearing connector dot, you being sort of connector dot, okay? You upholding some aspect or form of how this duality takes place. There's been a desire, a deep desire to, I'm hearing confront, to communicate about these emotions, for it to come full circle. And it may be by way of this I'm hearing emotional, I'm hearing sublingual, I'm hearing energetic, very interesting. Two mothers here, mirroring one another, Mother of Swords, Mother of Cups. It may be energetic, okay, it may absolutely be energetic. I'm hearing for you Pisces, Cancer. Cancer has come through very strongly for a number of signs now, Pisces as well. There's a sort of infiltration, as I'll call it, of the water elements and signs through the readings of the other signs, so, and of their own, right, as well in Pisces and Scorpio's readings. I haven't done Cancer's yet, so I don't know where the overlap may lie, but Cancer being the sign that rules the home, fourth house, moon energy is water energy. Now, there's a focus on motherhood, okay, on mothering. This Ten of Cups may absolutely be speaking to a birth. Okay, I'm hearing the seed of truth, the seed of birth, of conception. Okay, by way of this merging of these two, I'm hearing ideals and I'm hearing idealistic forces. Now, I'm hearing foresight. So this is expected. This is something that you have wanted, that you've been waiting for in a certain way. And it's greatly emotionally satisfying. Okay, now, but I was going to say, okay, before I turn on the camera, I was meditating on your energy, Leo, and I'm hearing Scorpio for you. Okay, as I say this, so Scorpio may be related, I'm hearing present in a certain way, Scorpio on an archetype, but, okay, I was hearing, right, where the line between pampering and nurturing is had, okay, and how you come to terms with those two, related, okay, I'm hearing codependent sort of ideologies in a certain way, how we see them as separate and how we see them as somewhat simultaneous and different, okay, altogether, and I'm hearing separateness, So how do I, in a way, find myself through the process of helping others in a certain way, perhaps, grow and find their own form, okay, so it's sort of a nurturing versus pampering, I'm hearing questionnaire, discourse, okay? But specifically, Leo, with two sides hearing each other out. All right, now you have here, right, yet again, these two mothers mirroring one another, very different, right, in the way that they mother, in the way that they nurture, in the way that they give of themselves, of their energetic propensities, okay? And you have right, this duality, absolutely, that is, yet again, I'm hearing consistent, is consistent, two mothers, consistent, but very, very different forms of I'm hearing communicating, okay, of I'm hearing sharing and spreading the language. So there's something perhaps that may be at odds for a number of you, for a small number of you, in terms of this dichotomy, and it's just a matter of how to get I'm hearing both sides of the story out in equal measure, where they can understand, okay, how they are different, and by way of that, bring a certain cycle full circle and bring it to a point of culmination, that which holds, right, the nucleus of the story. Okay, the story. Now, you have this Nine of Pentacles at the very base of your reading. Nine of Pentacles sitting right in between, right? The Mother of Swords and Mother of Cups, but right at the base, mirroring the Ten of Cups. So 9, 10, very interesting in sequence, very different energies though. Yet again, you have here earth, and you have here at the very top apex, water, strong water. So the emotional release is, and I'm here, and the emotional perspective and perception is of utmost importance. But it is within the context of what is fixed, within the context of, I'm hearing literally like physical, tangible matter, the home, the physical dimension, the third dimension, having to do with matters of career, finances. So this may be, right, it's like, what this is sort of analogous to is having a certain discussion about the emotions, but within the context of how they manifest in the home, right? So there's a dimension that speaks of what is a source of support, okay, what is a form of constancy, and how the nature of that, right, this form of stability, maybe matters of finances, material assets, how we all contribute to literally the home, feeds I'm hearing our psyche, okay, and compels us to communicate not only about matters that are literal, okay, but also about matters that are emotional, also about who we really are, right, as the beholders of whatever right, this structure is. So there's this soft point, right, that's touched upon, that's met, but within the context of, right, what is otherwise, right, perhaps a binding force of finances, of the physical home, material assets, things like that. And it leads to a discussion that is greatly sentimental in nature. Now, it brings understanding, okay, it brings understanding. You have here the Hierophant, okay, very interesting. This card, the Chariot, Cancer's card, has been popping out for almost every single sign now. Pisces, Sagittarius, I believe Sagittarius, Scorpio, right? So Cancer, this energy is very strong, and right, you have a lot of mothering, sort of nurturing energy to begin with, a lot of water energy coming through for you. Capricorn as well had a great, tremendous emphasis on the water element. But you have here the Hierophant, which also has been popping out. This is Taurus' card yet again in the Major Arcana, popping up for a number of signs, including, I believe, Pisces and Scorpio, I believe, as well. But right, there is this, I'm hearing this question of conventionality, okay, conventions, as it pertains to, I'm hearing as it pertains to this, I'm hearing this pool of assets, resources. And there is a sort of perhaps expectation, as I'm hearing it for you, as I'm getting it for you, as it regards how we are to construct and create from and upon and through and by this pool of assets. So this upholding, upending structure, right? How does it lead us. I'm hearing into salvation. However you take that, however you perceive that, however it may resonate with you, with a number of you. Of course, general reading, it may pertain differently to everyone, but how what we create, how the home that we build and we contribute to, compels us to create still beyond the confines of it, okay, to find ourselves outside of the context of the home, for example, and how it causes us, compels us to remain just, I'm hearing, at the periphery of it. So how is what we contribute to as a whole, as a unit, so to speak, as you may feel it, as you may see it, as a team, as a partnership, how does what we create in a certain way define what we feel as the creators of it? So it's pinning it back around to the emotionalism of the material, tangible world, okay, and assets and the structure of it. And there's a question, I'm hearing, there's a plea. I'm hearing for a number of you, a plea for forgiveness, whatever that may mean to a number of you. There's a plea for this turnaround, okay, and there's a desire to leave it open-ended, okay, but there's a question of where does it all go from here? Okay, where does it all go from here? Let us pull a Celtic cross for you, Leo, and see what comes through. Okay, you want 2 split deck here. Let's do it that way. 1 card remaining, 2 cards remaining. Okay, Mother of Cups again popping up for you. In reverse, motioning over the 6 of Pentacles. Again, we have this discussion, this dialogue between emotions, okay, and the material, tangible world. So where progress meets emotionalism, okay, emotionalism, how we can temper our emotions with our sense of productivity, how we can weigh them both in equal measure without sacrificing either. Okay, now let me pull the cards for you here and see what comes through. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, lovely. Okay, let us, all right. So, you've got here a new theme. The Tower in reverse. Okay, overlaying the Son of Swords in reverse. Overlaying the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Reverse, reverse, reverse. With the 4 of Cups, right? Just peeking out from beneath. So, all right. Absolutely a culmination of a cycle as it pertains specifically to matters of the physical dimension. Okay, and again, career, finances, but I'm getting specifically for a number of you, home life, okay, and how that manifests within or how, through the career, and vice versa, how the career manifests through the home life. And so there's a period of transformation. Okay, but let's first get to the cards here, and okay, let's get to the cards here. Now, 8 of Pentacles in reverse in your deep past. You have the Ace of Wands in reverse in your recent past. Okay, so deep past, recent past. You then have here the 5 of Pentacles upright in your energetic pathway that led you into your current state of the 9 of Swords upright. You then have 9, 8, 2 8s here. Okay, in sequence. You have the 8 of Wands in reverse, 8, 9 in sequence, 2 8s sandwiching the Ace of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Okay, but 8 of Wands in reverse in your advice. You have the lovely, lovely Ace of Cups upright in your environment. Okay, I'm feeling a very positive energy with that there. And I'm feeling that has to do with the 10 of Cups and that emotional sort of dialogue and release. You have the Mother of Cups, Mother of Wands, okay, but I almost said the Mother of Cups. And you've come out with several mothers, and again the Mother of Swords. So there is a prominent theme of mothering, okay, of nurturing, of this sort of yin energy. However you resonate with it, Leo. Mother of Wands, I'm getting provider as well. Okay, now I'm hearing provider of frequency. So whatever that, right, however that resonates with you in particular, provider of frequency. So kind of like frequency. But you have here the Fool in reverse in your hopes and your fears. In your final outcome, you have the Ace of Swords upright, the 3 of Cups in reverse. Aha, okay. Now, I believe it was Sagittarius who pulled the Three of Cups in reverse. Yes. I do believe that it was the Three of Cups. Okay, now you have the Four of Pentacles, 3-4, in your energetic pathway that leads you into your final outcome. So you're going 4, 3 of the 5, that mirrors the 4. So 5, 4, 3 happening here. With the 9 of Wands upright, okay, accompanying this 4. So let me tune in here for you, Leo. On the table, there is emotional renewal, absolutely. Okay, whatever has been, right, as I am hearing confrontational, okay, where it's like I'm trying to gain my footing. Okay, that's what I'm hearing for you. I'm trying to gain my sense of and getting emotional traction, okay, of communicating emotions in a way. I'm hearing dialogue, discourse that is effective. Okay, and I'm zeroing in on blue kyanite, which speaks of communication, of the air element. I'm also hearing for you ether, and it does in fact speak to the communication, right, and the clarity between our intuition and our raw rational mind. So there is a focus on the ley lines here, okay, on how it is that we communicate and relay what is emotional. Okay, I'm hearing emotional substance, emotions, intuition, how we relay this to ourselves and to others. And so there's a turnaround here. There's a recognition that all is possible, I'm hearing, right? Okay, now, of course, take it as you will, Leo. This is a general reading, okay, but Ace of Cups, as I'm getting it for you, there's this aspect of your environment, this element in your environment, something that comes through, and I'm getting that it's related yet again to the Ten of Cups. This culmination I'm getting is such a point of relief for you, of release, okay, of this desire for this new beginning. And wherever this desire, right, sort of infiltrated I'm hearing the work-home life balance, there's now this feeling, this projection of beginning again, and there's an absolute renewal with it. And so this has, I'm getting, been ongoing, okay, and you're being beckoned to roll with the I'm hearing the punches, roll with the motion of things, roll with the flow of the feelings, and to communicate just how much the emotional dimension and the physical third dimension intersect and interact on a daily basis, okay, on a daily basis, and to let it out of the box, so to speak, right? To just be really forthright about it. And you've been really just it's like this. This is what I'm getting for you, Leo. It's like, I've been wanting this change. Okay, how do I make the change happen? How do I go about the change? And this may have been the thinking process for you. Okay, absolutely. Okay, how do I recoil from the situation that I don't want to be involved in a certain way? Perhaps that is just feeling so regimented and routine and I'm hearing rigorous, okay, and has not been satiating in the way that I emotionally may feel that I need it to be, okay, in a certain way, right? Four of Pentacles, right? Duality yet again. And this may be you and another contributing within the financial, material realm, home life, in a way that has been, I'm hearing solitary, okay, solitary contribution. And so it's like, yeah, I've known that this was not satisfying. Okay, this is not a question of that. It's a question of, right, it's been a question of how do I channel this desire to change it, to transmute the way that I participate in it, okay, in such a way that is, I'm hearing authentic represents the desire. I'm hearing well enough to capacitate the change, okay, of the situation. And then, right, it's like, for some reason, as you may see it, as you may feel it, as you may have experienced it, it's like this feeling just wasn't quite rearing up strongly enough to bring the change forth, because it wasn't a matter of the action, about the feeling. It was about the feeling. It was about the flowing of the feeling. So while you were maybe trying to work around, right, this feeling and this knowing in a certain way, right, taking an approach that was more, I'm hearing extroverted, okay, that was more sort of yang, you bounce back with the opportunity to almost cut right to the chase, Leo, right to the chase, and communicate very clearly, get to the crux of it, right? That is this speaking to this emotional dimension, okay? This emotional dimension, and it may be something that, right, it's like a sticker, that you gotta peel it off, right, to share your feelings, and maybe if you hairs get ripped off in the process of it, but, right, it's like, but I want that. I want to, right, show you I'm hearing my blind spot, whatever that may mean to you. I want to show you, right, my vulnerability. And that's really what I want. It's not just that I just want the change. It's that I realize now that this is the way, right? And it's not changing. It's confessing what has been constant, okay, and fluid at the same time, right? Given that I am a fluid being, given that I am, right, mutable, given that I am, right, I experience different dimensions of myself at different times, and so coming through with that constancy of the change of me, that is just the sheer confession that I want to make. And so it's not, I feel that there's this turnaround in even how you perceive what you wanted, what you thought would be the rhyme and the reason, the issue and also the solution, so to speak, right? It's like I'm hearing, I've wanted it all along. I've wanted it all along. So I'm getting that something comes full circle for you, Leo. Okay, and I'm hearing Sagittarius as well. And I'm telling you, Leo, there is this luxuriousness to you. Okay, it's like this pampering feeling, like massage, and I'm hearing self-touch. But you may be really paying mind to you in a way that is more focused on the nuances, the subtleties of how you experience yourself. Okay, and so you're feeling yourself, Leo. You're feeling yourself, and now let me tune in here. Okay, you have 3 aces. All right, in triangular fashion, forming this very strong, it's like a ley line of energy as I'm feeling it. And it speaks to this underpinning of desire that you've been wanting to act upon, okay, in a very obvious sort of way, in a very clear way, where it's like official, that then, right, brings you to this point of this emotional vulnerability, that then brings you and laces you back into the clarity, right, of action, of the sort of the perception, the translation of what this emotional openness, okay, actually brings you to within the context of the sharing of those emotions. So what I'm getting is that what you come to within this space, in your environment, be it, right, having a discussion with someone, right, opening of feelings, opening of emotions, communication, that leads you to a certain clarity that speaks to, and the Ace of Swords is exactly mirroring the Ace of Wands, that speaks to the dimension of action that you wanted to take to transmute, right, to transmute this feeling of desire, okay, for emotional renewal in a certain way, as you may have taken it, as you may feel it. Okay, and so it's like, at the end of the day, right, you're recognizing it wasn't just about moving through it and acting about it. It's a matter of feeling it, feeling myself through this new beginning that I'm desiring. Okay, that brings me to speak about it clearly, to find just the perfect words, to clarify for myself and others what it is that has been the crux, officially. And there's a question of community, there's a question of contribution, the emotional grounds I'm hearing that we lay on, how it is that we structure, I'm hearing, and contribute emotionally to one another, with one another, how we create through the emotions is something that is brought under a sort of microscope, that is brought into great focus for you. And there is a new beginning that's heralded here, absolutely, and it has to do with this surrendering, okay, to the changes, okay, that speak to this ability, this fundamental ability to play that part that merges both your desire to take action, okay, to herald change, and to understand, to come from a place of almost, it's like a insightfulness, a wisdom, a sentimentality, a vulnerability of why those changes, right, you're compelled to make. So it's like taking action, but purposeful action. It's a matter of conceptualizing, coming to terms with what that means for me, right? As a creator, what that means for me. As the upholder, I'm hearing a vision, okay, of this new beginning. And so it's the focus, right? The focus. And it's interesting because the Mother of Wands is a yang sort of energy, right? Fire being yang, but Mother of Wands, right? It's also sort of, right, mothering, nurturing energy. So there's this polarity, there's this duality, right? And the Mother of Wands is almost, right, it's in reverse, surrendering to, at the mercy of, the Ace of Cups, right? So also the Mother of Wands must hear, right, out herself, I'm hearing themselves, to step into this new beginning, right? The rebirth. In such a way where she's, he, she, they are so aligned on the same page with even her eggs. Okay, even her eggs, where she is feeling, she's feeling fundamentally, rather than just doing, right, fire, laying the eggs, rather than just doing, but she's feeling her way through this portal to finding herself as the capacitator of this change. So while she gives birth, right, while she's nurturing, while she's mothering, she's ultimately, right, she's under transformation. And to abide by the process of transformation in the way that is in a way most perceptive and most attuned, she's got to remain open to listening. Right? I'm hearing to them all. So I'm getting that there may be several parties involved, you and another, several others, for a number of you, perhaps two other individuals, perhaps three other individuals. But you've got the Four of Pentacles with the Nine of Wands as well. And there is this, as we're seeing it, this sort of pending nature, okay, to the grounds that are laid by way of this communication, by way of this clarity. Okay, now that we've said it all, now that we know, where does this lead us? What comes from here? And but there's, yet again, there's a wisdom with which you are, I'm hearing, partaking in your craft, that you are laying the groundwork for this, right? These lands upon which this transformation of cycle will officially take place and perhaps be displaced as well. I'm getting that for a number of you. I'm hearing for the sake of greater good. You have here at the Tower in your theme. So there's transformation, okay, absolutely, but it's not just a matter, yet again, of the change. Okay, I'm hearing the blasphemous change. It's not just a matter of doing and heralding the action. It's a matter of coming to terms with why it's happening, right? Why it's like, before I go into labor, right? Let me really get in my zone. Get in my zone. Okay, and to give birth, right? It's a process of vulnerability, of opening oneself, literally, right? It's opening oneself to the change and what it all means and what it births in and of itself, right? So as a continual process of change and rebirth, that's why I'm not feeling that it's just one strike and that's it, right? Just one change and now it's all of a sudden done. It's not continual. I'm hearing it's habitual. So, but a lot of energy and focus is laid on the Son of Swords and the Tower almost fell right off the table. So there's a great focus laid on communicating, okay, about, yet again, the intersection and the interaction between the third dimension, material assets, and the feelings, okay, of, I'm hearing our singlehood, of how we feel as a capacitator of, the upholder of this physical dimension, this material, I'm hearing stand-in. Okay, so let me tune in here to see. And this is something, Leo, that you have been wanting for so very long, so very long. It's like you've been. And I'm itching my ankle. It's like you've been riding it out. Okay, you've been riding it out, Leo. And I'm hearing straining, and I'm hearing efforts, and I'm hearing for the sake of, for in the name of. Okay, however you take it, whatever that means to you. There's been this knowing that a decision, okay, would eventually be made in terms of the transition, okay, and the transformation that would come by way of the release of these emotions, of our feeling about the context within which we allow ourselves to feel what it is we feel, where we communicate what we feel. Communication of that dimension and those dimensions is what I understand brings me to this point of transformation. Yes. But in the meantime, there's been this sort of biting of time, right? Holding it out. Understanding that change must be made to have a pattern, the ways that we prepare for this transformation. But there's been this waiting, to stand by. And I'm hearing Sagittarius for you, because there may be a Sagittarius individual involved and or translocation may be involved, okay? The actual physical move, okay, of home. So I hope that this reading was helpful for you, Leo. Have a beautiful rest of September. And I know that some of you have been asking if I do any personal readings and the like, and I do. I have personal services on my website, alchemyinu.com. The link is in the description box below. So if that's of interest to you, I also do full-length astrology reports. I do them by hand. I'll take a look at your chart, all of your placements, your planetary placements, house placements, the whole sort of blueprint of energy by way of a birth chart. So if you are interested in that, specifically as it pertains to matters of career, matters of soul path calling, if it's something of interest to you that you want to take a deeper dive with, feel free to check the site out with all the service details there. Alright, thank you so very much again, Leo. Have a beautiful September, and I'll see you soon for the October readings. And I also highly recommend you to check out your rising, ascendant, or moon sign, as oftentimes those may provide you with further insights into your situation. For example, I know that I resonate a lot with my moon, even more than my sun sometimes. I also resonate with my rising sign here and there, okay? As well as I have my Jupiter in Leo, okay, and my midhaven in Leo. So that's at the very top of the chart. I resonate with Leo here and there too, especially as it pertains to matters of career. All right, so take it as you will, Leo. Right, if you're compelled to watch a certain sign, feel free to do so. There may be messages there for you. Nonetheless, if you don't know your signs, you can click the link below in the description box I provide, and that will compute them for you. I'm also back going to mention for you, Leo, that in pertinence to matters of career, finances specifically, hobbies, okay, and also partnerships. Venus may play a role in that. So, right, you're compelled to watch your Venus sign as well. Feel free to do so. All right. Thank you so much again, Leo. Have a beautiful September, and I will see you soon. Bye.